Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I'm a degree apprentice in investment banking. In this video, I'm going to be comparing going to university with doing a degree apprenticeship or any apprenticeship, substituting the degree for like a professional qualification in the industry that you're doing it in. This video is going to be very general. It's not going to be specific to my company. I might be using myself as an example and what my company offers as an example of what you could get somewhere else, but it will just be very general. It won't be specific to finance because you can get degree apprenticeships in many different industries. You can get apprenticeships period in many different fields. So getting into it, because I'm going to keep it brief, or I'm going to try to. If you have any questions, comment your questions, guys. I appreciate you guys that message me on Instagram and Snapchat. However, I've turned off my notifications for all of my social media and I'm getting busier, so me seeing that message is unlikely. So if you have any questions at all, as soon as the question comes into your head, just comment it. I'm going to start this video off with finance, especially in a situation like this where you're young, you already probably don't have money. If you make the wrong financial decisions now, you're just setting yourself up for financial failure in the future. So you need to be very careful when you're making big financial decisions like paying 27k to go to school, 27k that you don't have. Specifically, the first financial point to make here is that with a degree apprenticeship specifically, your uni fees are paid by your employer. I'm not sure if this is the same for other apprenticeships, but it should be the same. They should cover your exam fees, your tuition fees, whatever. All in all, with degree apprenticeships, you're not paying for your education. On top of having your uni fees paid for you, on top of having your tuition paid, your employer will more often than not be paying you a salary on top. I've heard of some apprenticeships being unpaid. I don't know about all of that. But for the ones that I've seen and for the ones that I'm on, you get a salary on top of your tuition fees being paid. There's literally not much to say. You get a good salary and you're not paying tuition. So already you can see the setup is already making a lot more sense than anything else I could say. And then sometimes with some employers, if you're a permanent employee on the apprenticeship, as soon as you join your permanent employee, you will get benefits like other permanent employees. You get different types of insurance that you would take out, like your accident insurance, gadget insurance, travel insurance. I mean, depending on which employer you're with and what they offer as well, you are able to keep a lot of the money that you're getting. And if you're on a good salary, that's a lot of money for someone so young. For example, for me, that's living at home. And one thing that's so key to note here is that you're getting into the investment markets earlier. Compounding has a greater effect over a longer period of time. So if you're able to enter the investment market, so let's just say the stock market, for example, but you can invest in other things. But let's just say the stock market, for example, if you're able to buy a share this year, as opposed to 4 years down the line when the shares already probably, you know, increased by like 20% or whatever, it's just financially wiser to have invested earlier. But obviously when you go to uni, you might not be able to invest when you would want to or when you would like to, because you just don't have the money. So cool, you're able to invest sooner. And then there's also one other thing in terms of like finances, which is that your salary could increase like over the time that you're on the scheme. So I'm on my program for 4 years and I know that our salary increases because my salary already increased in February. You do have like the annual reviews where you do discuss compensation with your managers and your salary increases in line with inflation. I don't know, it just goes up. You can already see that as you enter the company, you're a permanent employee, you're benefiting just like a permanent employee would. You don't feel different just because you're an apprentice. So a pro to degree apprenticeships is finances, but a con to uni is finances. Because for uni, you have to pay minimum 27,000 for your degree. That's a standard 3-year undergraduate degree. Because interest is accrued from day dot, that interest is, you know, really increasing the amount that you're going to have to turn around and repay. And I'm saying paying that back because I'm assuming that you would take out a loan to pay the 27k. Unless you're rich and you can afford the 27k, then you can do that. But it's still a lot of money. If you're not able to afford the 27k, you would need to take out a loan, and you'd actually need to take out 2 loans. So you need to take out a loan to pay your tuition fees and repay that, and then you also need to take out your maintenance loan. That's one thing that people forget and people ignore. This is 27k, but you also have the maintenance loan that you get. I think some people get, I don't want to say the wrong number, is it 9k a year? I think it was something like that, because that was why I decided that I'm not going to uni, because what am I going to do with 9k a year? They give you money to live on as well. You need to pay this back as well. I don't know if people think that's free money, but it's not, unless you apply for like scholarships and stuff. So that's like, I don't want to call it a pro, but it's a possibility. You could get some scholarships and some funding and bursaries and things like that that could cover like some of your time at uni. And even the maintenance loan, because it's not enough for you to live, you would still need either parental support or you would still need to get a job. Like most people at uni have a job, because how else are you going to survive? How else are you going to pay your rent? Even the highest band of maintenance loan isn't enough to pay rent in most cases. And then something else that you need to consider on the financial side is also how much you're going to make. So obviously the uni repayment thing is cool if your salary is going to be like below maybe 50k for the rest of your life. But if it's going to be increasing like at a fast speed, depending on like the industry that you go into, and if you see yourself working your way up in your company or whatever, you might end up paying back a lot of money. So just really think about it. A 27k debt might turn into a 90, 80, k debt. And then it's like, why am I now paying this much? So definitely do some research into the industry that you're entering into with that degree and find out how the salary progresses just in general. And then use a student loan repayment calculator to figure out how much you might be paying back and decide if it's worth it for you. So back to the degree apprenticeship side, another pro is that when you finished your apprenticeship, you have 3 years worth of experience now. So if you've started at 18 and you finished at like 21 or 22, compared to someone who's just finished uni, you have 3 years of experience. You can take that apprenticeship, you can take that experience, you can take your degree and you can go into any company, and you might not even need to go at like an entry-level role like a grad would, because you have that experience. So it leads to earlier progression, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't expect an apprentice to be at the same level as a grad once a grad joins, because you're not at the same level because you've been there for 3 years. So on the uni side of that, I would say you can get experience in uni. You can do like your spring weeks, your internships. It's not to be compared. Like you can't compare 4 weeks or 1 or 2 weeks to years full time. Do you get it? Back on the apprenticeship side, I'm going to bring up a con now. A con of degree apprenticeship is that they're very specific. So I would not advise you to do an apprenticeship if you do not know that you want to do it, if you do not know the industry, if you've never even experienced the industry, or you don't think that you would like the industry 100%. Forget it. It's not that serious. What I would say is, if you do like the industry as a whole, yeah, that's cool. But if you don't even like the industry at all, or you don't even know that you have any interest in that industry, there is no point, because you will be doing something that you do not like for 4 years. You might as well just go to uni. If you do like the industry, but you think you would like a specific role and you don't know if they're offering apprenticeships in that role, it might just be a case of discussing this in an interview. Or once you do get in, if you find that you don't really like the role that you're in, there might be an opportunity to rotate and move around. I wouldn't say it's the end of the world if you are interested in the industry but you just don't like the role that you got put in. Things happen. But if you don't even like the industry, at the very least, it's not making sense at all. It's a waste of your time, it's a waste of your employer's time. There's no point. So obviously, to combat and avoid this, you need to do as much research as you can. You need to do work experience in the industry at the very least. If you can't even get work experience in your role because of like regulation, or you're too young, at least do work experience in the industry and maybe speak to people that are in the role that you want to get into, so you kind of have an idea of what they do and if you can see yourself in that role and if you would like it. So obviously uni is good for someone that doesn't know what they want to do, because you can just study something that you're really interested in, and then with most degrees you can get into like a wide array of industries. So then on the topic of finding yourself and finding out what your interests are, you then have the social aspect of uni, and you can see how far down this is in the list, because this should not be a deciding factor in choosing one or the other. Personally, again, like I said at the start of the video, the choices that you're making now will obviously affect your future self, so it doesn't really make sense to put yourself in bad predicaments just for temporary enjoyment. You get temporary soft life. You want a soft life, you don't want a soft 1 year, 2 years. So put yourself in the best situation you can. Obviously uni kind of forces you to have a social life, because from year 1 you can be in halls, so you're already meeting people, you meet people on your course that have the same interests as you can go to freshers and meet people there. So then on the side of degree apprenticeships now and social life, depending on how many apprentices your company takes on, you might be surrounded with people as young as you as well, but obviously understand that they might not be your cup of tea, or you might be from different backgrounds, so you find it hard to relate. Another way to combat this would be to go to freshers in the first week. So obviously you've left college, your college friends, the unis that they've gone to. If they decided to go to uni, you could go to their uni, you could go to their freshers, meet some people there. I didn't actually do that because I actually took gap year, so I was working at Vanguard on my gap year, and it was COVID as well. So, but that's obviously something you can do as everything's easing up now. And then the final con for degree apprenticeships is the workload. Let me really bust a myth for you guys, because I don't know why I'm hearing that people think that degree apprenticeships are easy, or they're the easier route to uni because you're working and studying. Where is that coming, guys? Where did that even come from? I think it stems from the stigma that apprenticeships are for trade jobs. That's not the vibe now, okay? And I understand as well, maybe the low grade boundaries are confusing you guys. The vibe is very different, especially the industry that you go into. If you go into finance, asset management, investment banking, wealth management, you will be doing real work You will be doing work that people with a degree are doing and you don't even have a degree. You will actually be doing real work. So don't even for a second think that you want an easier life, or you don't want the stress of uni. Uni students are not seeing stress. I'm sorry to say, but uni students are not seeing stress, because the workload that you have to do for a degree apprenticeship, everything is, I even uncross my leg. Everything is hitting you, as in you're being slapped by different things from every angle. Like, everything is happening at the same time. I can delve into this in another video. When we say degree apprenticeship, maybe you guys are thinking it's a blend. It's not a blend. There's not even any communication from the different sides. You might have 3 deadlines in 1 week. We're still writing essays like the uni students. We're still sitting exams like the uni students, uni exams, and then professional qualification exams. And then we're still going into the office and learning how to do our desk job with no degree. Big finance office, corporate babe with no degree. Like, it's hard out here. So don't ever for a second think that you're going to come to the degree apprenticeship, you're going to be getting money. Why do you think the benefits are so much? Because you're being tested, in a sense. You're being pushed. The pushing is very much. Do you know people have dropped out of degree apprenticeship? Do you think they're mad? Like, the pressure is high. This is intense. Already it's spilling over into your evenings. When you finish work, you're going to a meeting room to revise. On your study day, that whole day is gone because you're studying. On the weekend, if you have an exam coming up, even if you don't have an exam coming up and you just want to stay on top of it, it's very easy for you to fall back. It's tough because no one's waiting for you. Like, as you're there fumbling, crumbling, whatever, things are still moving. You still have your lectures every week. You're still expected to be making the notes because your exam date is set. Nothing is waiting for you. Like, if you go on holiday, best believe everything's running and you're there on holiday. You come back and you have things to catch up on. Like, it's not a joke. Time management needs to be there. Discipline needs to be there. I'm making it seem like you don't get supported, but you do get supported. I mean, you can say if you're struggling, but it's like you still have to do it because it still needs to be evidence for you to pass and like make it through and stuff. But I just want to emphasize, because I feel like a lot of people are making it seem like fun and games. Don't forget the fact that it's still a very big commitment and you will need to sacrifice some of your time, your personal time. Okay, I hope I didn't put you guys off degree apprenticeships with my honesty, but I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there's no point coming in blind and not knowing what you're getting yourself into in terms of applying. Like I said, guys, if you have any questions, comment them down below. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.